I have always had this strange obsession with VR technology ever since I first became aware of it. I'm not exactly sure why, but I'm pretty sure it has something to do with me as a child setting up the entire basement of our house as a Mario level for me to run through. The idea of actually being immersed into a game's world seemed so strange back then. And it's really weird now that everyone has just adjusted to this technology existing. Like, I understand that the rate at which technology improves rapidly increases as time goes on, but it just seems strange to think that when I was a kid, smartphones were this wild idea and seemed like something only the rich would really have. And the internet was still not even as mainstream as it is now. Anyway, I remember the first time I saw VR, I think it might have been in a Jacksepticeye video. I remember being just amazed and instantly seeing the potential. Of course, it had a lot of wires and very limited movement, but that's something I could excuse. At this point, I wasn't exactly old enough to get a job, and there was no way I was going to get something like that for a birthday or Christmas. Not yet, at least. Not too much longer after this, I remember walking into a Best Buy. They had this whole area for people to try out a VR headset. I'm really not sure what one it was, but it was relatively new at the time, so I don't know, Oculus something maybe? I got in line and waited for quite a while. I just sat there on my phone and pretty much looked up stuff about the headset that I was about to use, and eventually I got to try it out. The guy running it told me they had a few different games of differing intensities. I, of course, picked the most intense one. It was this game where you had to climb a mountain. And obviously, since it was the first time I'd ever experienced something like this, it was just unreal. I nearly fell over so many times, but I ended up completing the level, and I decided to talk to the employee afterward. He didn't seem to know much though, and honestly seemed disinterested in it, which I can't really blame him because I was definitely nagging him when he needed to be helping the next person, but also felt kind of like an insult after what I had just experienced. Needless to say, I was hooked. I had to have a VR headset of some kind just to feel that thrill again. And naturally, nearly a year and a half later, for Christmas of 2016, I got the PlayStation VR. I also got Doom VFR and PlayStation VR Worlds and a demo disc, of course. I played all of them for absolute ages, and I remember saving up a lot of money to buy Resident Evil 7 when I found out it had a VR mode. I just couldn't put it down. I have a slight hunch that might be why my vision is pretty bad. As far as I'm aware, there hasn't been that many studies done on how VR affects your sight, but I was definitely under the recommended age when I started using VR, and I never really had problems with my eyesight before that, so could be that. The timeline of events from here is pretty simple. With some more time passing and me getting a job, I was able to afford a PC and an Oculus Quest 2. And again, it was incredible, especially playing VR chat with friends. And I have something to show you.
Hello. So, yeah. I have this now. So, look, it's me. That's crazy. Avil in real life. Have you ever seen anything this cool? I really doubt it. Yeah, so I'm in 3D. You might have seen this on my community page. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, I've been a big fan of VR chat for a long time, and especially with VR technology, I've always wanted to have like an expression of myself, and I've done many different, skins and stuff on VR chat, but I worked with someone, I'll put their name here, and they were able to create a skin for me. And yeah, so I don't know how much VR chat content I'm really going to create, but I think it's pretty cool that I can do this here. My internet's really bad. I can't download things right now, so VR chat's kind of a luxury if, like, every once in a while I get to play it with friends. Not a huge deal, but I do think it's pretty cool that I have this now, and in the description, I'll probably link my account, and if you want, you can add me as a friend, and there's a chance that we could play together. As well as with my Discord server. I might have like invites for people if you want to join me playing on my server. It's pretty cool. I'm here. Look at this. It's me in the game. This is something I've wanted to do for a long time, so sorry I'm being too rambly about it. It's so cool. It's such a cool thing. Look at this. I'm here in the world. It's me. And yeah, so subscribe. That'd be pretty cool of you if you could subscribe. I'd very much appreciate that. And back to the, actual video.
Thank you, past version of me. Since VR is a serious passion of mine, I want to take this opportunity to talk about a couple difficulties of dealing with it. After a couple years of using my PlayStation VR fairly consistently, the camera seemed to work less and less properly. I had a lot of problems with hand tracking near the end of the time that I was using it, and eventually I just put it down and didn't really play it for a while until I got my Oculus Quest 2. And just in general, VR on PC and Oculus is extremely buggy. Like, just trying to deal with it and get everything set up for gaming just takes way too long. And you're on a timer too. When that battery dies, you're done. And sure, you can have one of the head straps with a battery dock like I do, but that costs another $50 at least. And even then, you're not always going to have your batteries charged. When I was looking into getting a MetaQuest 3, I was really skeptical of its use of pass-through, while not significantly upgrading the resolution or FOV. At that time, FOV seemed like the most important part to a VR headset to me, at least in what I had imagined, because the Quest's FOV was so bad. But after using it, wow! It is really great to have full color pass-through, and even the minor improvements make a serious difference to the quality of life when playing any VR game, even on PC. I really do recommend it if you're looking into getting a VR headset. Thanks for listening to me ramble about this passion of mine. I'd love to talk about it with all of you in the comments. If you have any interesting stories about VR, I'd love to hear them. Also, you can come to the Discord, like I said earlier. Anyway, like the video, and bye-bye.